pasture, run 'em in the pen, work 'em on the Sundays, do it all again. Race 'em in the sand, buck 'em in the mud, drip a cowboy's sweat, bleed a cowboy's blood.
I'm Zeke Thurston, 2016 World Champion Saddlebrock Rider, and you're watching the Pepper Stewart Show.
Today's show brought to you by Rodeo Clothing Company. Dress your best, whether you're out on the town, in the office, the rodeo arena. Rodeo Clothing has men's and women's stylish pearl snap shirts. You can find Rodeo Clothing Company on Facebook and Instagram. Or the simplest way to do it is click at pepperstewart.com, click on the picture, and go buy some shirts. All right, today, a lot of stuff's happening. A lot of stuff. Today's another action-packed round of randomness to tickle your cranial cortex. It's still Corona time right now. Yep, still that time. And if Corona time wasn't a pain in the butt already, it's about to get worse. The Chinese claim that there's a backdoor Rona test that just might be more effective. So they're going to do rectal Corona test. I don't know who's lining up for that, but people are doing it. It kind of reminds me of a kid, and I need to get my temperatures checked. And I could always tell the difference in the thermometers because one of them tasted terrible. So that was so bad. You get your mom put a label on those. But anyway, we had a couple of movies coming out we're going to tell you about. The American back in Arlington is coming up. PBR just wrapped up their event in Florida, and we got some highlights for that. Odd news, some great stuff. We've got a knife wielding squirrel. You can get paid to sleep, and how good is the GoPro that you use? We'll tell you about that. Do you have library books? Do you have those? Do you use them? I don't know. And Road to the Horse has moved from the Kentucky Horse Park. It's going to be here in Fort Worth, Texas, March 25th, 28th. More details are coming out, and when they do come out, we're going to have them for you right here. They're going to come on with us and tell you about that. So the Road to the Horse is going to be in Fort Worth, Texas. Walker, Texas Ranger. We talked about this the other day. I don't know if you watched it or not. Did you? I don't know. They got Jared Eccles from Supernatural is playing Walker. We talked about this back when they announced what they were going to do. And like I said, you can't replace Walker. Chuck Norris, you're not going to replace that. When they brought Jared Eccles in, he should have been like his son coming back from the military or out of the service, something like that to take over, but not to replace Chuck Norris. So the first episode aired last week before last. Did you watch it? What'd you think? If you ask me, I don't know. It's one of those deals that if you would have called it something else or named the show something else, it might have been different. But for those that watched the old Walker shows, are like, man, this is not going to make it. But for Supernatural fans, you're like, hey, look, there's more stuff we can watch. So I don't know. You tell me what you think, and we'll see what happens. All right, we did say we're going to talk about social media. We're talking about that, and everybody's on social media. If you're not on there, I don't know where you've been, because everybody and their grandma, even the grandmas, are on social media. And there's so many out there. You don't know where you're going to go, what you're looking for. You got some that are getting shut off, some that you don't want to look at. And so you're like, I've been riding my horse, I'm doing horse stuff, I'm hanging around horse people, so where do I go? And we found that. And with that, we did find Kendra Dickson with Stall High, and she's here to tell you a little bit about Stall High, what it does, where you find it, and what it's about.
Thanks for the invitation.
So what about Stall High, what were you doing? Thought, you know what, this is what we need.
Oh, good question. I'm glad you asked too, because I love to talk about Stall High. So I love social media. I'll back up just a little bit. I immediately recognized the value of social media, like when it first hit, right? And loved being able to go live on Facebook, at a horse event or rodeo or clinic, and just share what I love to do, what we love to do. Right. And was primarily doing that on Facebook. We had a great following on the page, Women's Pro Rodeo Today. We had 154,000 followers. Amazing, loyal audience. but we didn't really know what to do with that audience, right?
Right.
And I got into what I thought was social media marketing, which was really digital marketing.
Yeah.
So that really changed, has tremendously changed our lives since 2019. And in the process of learning digital marketing, building a new company, Gold Buckle Social Media, and really building teams, a team of men and women that understand e-commerce and understand how to leverage social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, that's when the pieces of the puzzle, or the things that I didn't understand, really started to fit into place and click.
Okay.
First week of shelter in place, stall rest, okay, mandatory stall rest.
Right.
Of course, everybody's freaking out. Everybody I knew, even the most faithful friends I have, were still, reaching out to me saying, what's going on? Do you know what's going on? What's going to happen? Just near panic, right? And I'm a woman of faith. I wasn't panicked. Amazing things going on. I mean, I was rolling. I was having a heck of a year, right? But I was still aware.
Right.
I mean, I think we as a horse community live in a safe bubble anyway.
Yeah.
We're to some degree, we are disconnected. We can go outside. We can get fresh air. We have the liberty and the luxury, really, to live with animals in today's world. So I'm not completely detached. I realized what was going on, and I thought, man, like, this really could be a problem. You hear about it. We all, some of us have even been penalized on platforms like Facebook for advertising our puppies for sale or horses for sale. You get in Facebook jail. And I knew that it was a ever increasing problem. I knew that Facebook was limiting how many people see our content anyway. Here we have been slaving away for years, just posting multiple times a day or paying somebody to post for us and try to, broadcast and advertise our brand and our services on social media.
All right.
But not very many people see them. Very, very small population on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. So that first week rolled around, and it really was impressed upon me the urgency that horse people have got to have a social media alternative. So when it became evident to me, I booked a phone call with a friend of mine who is a computer programmer. And I said, Bruce, we have a problem. Facebook doesn't like us. Nope. They don't like horse people. They don't like what we do. They don't like what we stand for. They're censoring us. They're throwing some of us in Facebook jail where nobody can see anything that we post. And I said, horse people, my people, we need our own platform, like yesterday. And he said, I hear you, Kendra. He said, you're already doing it right now. And I said, okay, Bruce, how am I doing it? He said, well, you're talking to a friend who's been programming for a year and a half.
Okay.
He was a year and a half ahead of the ballgame.
So he was
and
ready.
He had been programming a platform to rival Facebook. And I thought, well, hello. Here we go. Plug us in. And it took several months. I've had some amazing advisors this year. Men and women who have been successful in business, really have a heart deeply rooted in the horse industry, to come along and give me business advice and point me in the right direction, with the legal team. And then I was in the process of building the marketing team, having the IT guys, the staff to really pull this off. Took several months of preparation before I could say a peep, before I could breathe a word about Stall High. And then we made the public launch September 6th, I believe, and immediately got people over there. It took off really fast. And then, of course, here in the last few weeks, with everything getting, increasingly worse on social media, the limitations is they're clamping down. Well, we've seen a huge spike in members. So I'm thrilled just to be able to offer an alternative. I love when I open the Stall High app, when I scroll, all you see are horses.
Yeah.
Horses and, roping and ponies and kids riding horses and, horse care tips, vet tips, stallion services. It's just awesome.
And another thing that you do that I noticed on the app when I was looking at it today is you also have the live option.
That's right.
Where you can go live on there.
That's right. We're in the process of really fine-tuning the software so that we can run those top 3 feature spots kind of like a traditional television network. You can have scheduled programming. You can have digital commercials that run. You can have live events like a concert or a clinic, a rodeo, anything you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try it. I've got, of course, like everybody knows, the rodeo schedule's been screwed up. Everything's canceled here and there, everywhere else. And so this year, the first one I've got this year is March 21st. I've got a bull run that I'm doing. They'll be announcing there, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to kick it on live and just see what happens.
Well, sweet. We need to get you with Credence first.
Yeah.
So Credence Futrell, she's head of that division, and so if we want to do it high definition and do it right, get with Credence, make sure everything's synced correctly.
Okay.
And then viewers will be able to watch for free. That's another thing that was really important to me, was to be able to offer the platform for free. Now, as that audience grows, my husband Chad and I are the sole underwriters for Stall High. So I do want sponsors and brand owners to contribute, in some way. So those feature spots are very important. Not only does it provide, content that we need, that's useful and purposeful for the community at large, but it also helps keep the lights on, basically, and keep the app running.
Right, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You put it out there, and once it gets going, it just kind of pays for itself, and everybody can jump on.
Yeah.
And so, other than that, let's talk about what else you do. Let's talk about some gold buckle horses.
Oh, wow.
What do you do there? Let's talk about the horses.
Well, it started with gold buckle barrel horses. Formerly educated as a speech pathologist. I did that for 4 years until our daughter was born. She's 20 now. I remember 2 weeks before she was born, I handed in my resignation, and I looked across the table, and the paper was shaking in my hand. Am I making the right decision? And my husband said, well, try it for a year. If you want to go back after a year. Well, within 30 days, our little back pasture was full of horses. Everybody heard, she's going to stay home with a baby. Will you ride my horse? We sell my horse. And it just grew. So I really was able to commit full time. I did grow up on a working ranch, so I've been in the training and the sales aspect pretty much my whole life. I was born into that. But after Caden was born and got a little older, I really got to pursue that, find my own signature style. Opened Gold Buckle Barrel Horses in 2006, and that's primarily been my bread and butter, for the bulk of my career. Interestingly enough, though, when I started Gold Buckle Social Media to help, people in the horse industry with social media advertising and marketing, that was such a new endeavor and so frustrating. It became such a full-time job that I had to push my horses to the back burner and pretty much live on the laptop. On the laptop, on the phone, with consultants, with advisors, with clients, for rolling up on a year and a half now. So it really did become all-consuming. Just recently, as of January, I got to go to my first barrel race of the year. I've got 2 mares that I absolutely adore. I'm really excited about them. So now that my teams are up and running and things are becoming more self-sufficient and growing in a great direction, and growing really fast, by the way, it feels good to have time, to be able to carve out time every day and get in the saddle again. I've got a little filly that just turned 4. I entered her in the Futurity at the Patriot. And I've got a mare that I got from Jim Bob Fritz. She's 8 this year, and I'm really excited about these 2 mares.
Okay, well that's good, and like you said, keeps you busy, keeps something doing. People with the social media, like you say, with social media, people understand it. If you're doing stuff like we do, it's a 24/7 deal. There is no time off, and try to do it all by yourself, it'll wear you out.
And I learned that too in the beginning when I thought, man, I'm going to help my people. People, boots, jeans, cowboy hats, belt buckles. If you wear these items, you're my people, and I care about you. And I know, because I've lived it. We work too hard, and we don't make enough money unless you're born with money. I have found it's true. Like, the fastest way to make $1 million is to start with 2, or be down to $1 million to start with 2 in the horse industry. So I learned really quick that I was not going to be able to do that on my own. I took a lot of courses, I paid a lot of advisors and consultants, and I realized it is so dynamic and it's ever evolving. There's no way that one person can manage successfully today, not doing what we do, and still maintain, any type of activity in the horse industry or the horse world. and be able to have a successful presence online. So
Right.
I have an amazing team. I've got a professional copywriter. I've got one guy that is solely in charge of traffic. So when he launches an ad, he watches metrics all day long. And we run so many tests. I've got one IT guru who's so cool. But what's fascinating to me, there's so many apps out there that are always improving. So he stays on top of it. So for my own e-commerce sales, my own products online, we're constantly adding new apps, we're testing new things, and we're scaling in such a way that it keeps growing. And it's a constant process of change. I didn't know it was going to be that complex, but I love that the team is expert in this. They're passionate about it. We hired Hunter Ream. He's a tie-down calf roper. He had already been interested in digital marketing, and he's been a great addition to the team just to help educate our people and take sales calls and help answer questions about what is digital marketing and how can it really put more money in the bank.
Yeah, because everything digital. You know, anybody you see, they've got their phone. Look at their phone. Everything is on their phone, whatever they're doing. And so if you're not on that digital platform, you're throwing money out the window.
Well, it's go digital or die, and it's not going to be a slow death. It's going to be quick, and I was just painfully aware of that. I was painfully aware, going into 2020, and I'd had a good year. 2018 was rough for me. 2019 was good for me in the horse business. I worked my butt off. I built my business back up because I'd been at Rodeo for a reason so long, which is a 501c3. Great reason, no money. And that's hard.
Yeah.
It's very stressful. So really went back to go buckle barrel horses in 2019 until I realized, ooh, I probably need to run with social media as well.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
And it's working out. So for the Stall High, for people trying to find it, like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Where would you tell them to go to download it, look it up, or get more information on it?
If they're an iPhone user, go to the App Store and just search Stall High. And if you're an Android user, go to Google Play and search Stall High. It is a free download. You can start a profile. It's going to look and feel a lot like Facebook. Some of the colors are different. You have to learn your way around what the little symbols look like and the icons and the back button and how to follow people. But we do have a tutorial that runs. It's really cool. I was excited that Chris Swallow from the TV show Women's Pro Rodeo Today, he's now my lead editor for Stall High, and he mans that control panel. So he makes sure that everything's running seamlessly every day, and it's just really cool that I've now been able to take my horse roots, my horse foundation, what I learned, so many years on that show, WPRT, in media and production and editing, and now being able to introduce those people with my marketing, with my digital marketing team. It's fascinating to me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very frustrating and tedious to learn an entire, basically new vocabulary. And I love that. I didn't love it at first, the name Stall High. I actually wanted to name it something else, but my attorney advised not to. She said, if you name it what you want to name it, you better be prepared to defend that in court. Because if it grows the way you think it's going to and the way I think it's going to, people will come after that and claim that they had influence on your name.
Right.
So I was like, man. And we were at Lake PK, and it was late in the evening. The sun was going down. I was talking to my husband about how disappointed I was over the name. And I'd already kickstarted Stall High as a clothing label because we were all Stall High. In 2020.
At that point, everybody was.
Yeah, my dad used to say Stall High all the time when we were growing up and talking about horses. He trained racehorses. Get them out of the stall. They're going to be Stall High. Not going to be able to ride them today if you don't get them on that walker, put them in the round pen, get them to work. So I just felt like Stall High described us as a people, and it was kind of a wink, wink, kind of an inside joke to have the logo on a T-shirt. Well, when Chad said, name your network Stall High, he said, that's yours, Kendra. He said, that's uniquely yours.
Yeah.
And when I really gave it more thought and kind of pressed into it, there's so much meaning behind Stall High. What I want this brand to really elicit from the viewers is to inspire, equip, and educate. If we can inspire, equip, and educate our viewers, our community, to get out of the damn stall.
Yeah.
it's probably not a physical limitation. It's between our ears. But we need to shift gears between our ears. And what I've really learned through the process of 2019, 2020, and now 2021 is that I had to change my mind about a lot of things. I had to be willing to change and make modifications. And I'm so thankful I did. 2020 for Chad and I, my husband and I, was the best year we've ever lived. Our heart goes out to the people who hurt. We're not oblivious to that. We're not blind to that. That's why we started Stall High. But for us personally, just as a family and as a husband and a wife relationship, we just saw God do amazing things in our life and are so honored to be able to bring this to the horse community. I know it's needed. I know it's valuable. It's imperative that we have a place to call our own on the World Wide Web. So I'm excited to share that. That's where my heart is. I want to help us, relieve stress, put more money in the bank, but it's not really about money. It's about who we are. It's about our values as a people group.
Right.
It is about our work ethic. It is about our character. It is about what we hold to be valuable and important and the traditions that mean so much to us. See, we still value solid gold, traditional face-to-face communication, whereas much of the world, that's going out the window and down the drain for them.
And it's gone. Just like the people out there looking at us.
Yeah.
They're out there looking. Well, Kendra, we're on the clock. They're looking at us. They're kicking us out. We got to go.
Thanks
But
for your time.
we appreciate you coming in, visiting with us, talking about Stall High. We'll tell the people they know now. They're
Okay.
probably looking it up, getting their account set up.
Appreciate it.
So
I'll see you on Stall High.
Well, the horse has been my life, really. I always wanted to be out of horseback, doing something that called on a good horse. And now, when I get a horseback, I'm still a pretty darn good hand. Hey, ha, ha.
We sure enough held them out in the middle of roundup ground, no fences, no corners. And that's where it really takes a good cutting horse, because you've got to sneak in there, ease that cow out.
Cut a dry cow.
And if things go to heck, there's no fences to stop anything. So that's sure enough similar to what they had to do back in the day.
Go with him, and y'all hold the cut. Boy, it's a pleasure to work cattle on a good cutting horse. To have that horse working with you and outsmarting that cow with you, it's a pretty thing to watch.
There's things that people these days just don't do like Buster does. It's very important to Buster to keep the cowboy way of doing things.
Buster was born 100 years too late. He should have been here in the 1850s, 1860s, when you had the big herds, the trail drives, the big roundups. He just loved that era of doing everything horseback. He still does it today.
we said we're going to talk about bovine in Texas, and so we're going to talk about Texas Longhorns. And talking about Texas Longhorns, we've got Firebaugh in studio from Texas 4F Ranch right here in Texas. He's going to talk about Longhorns. So, Firebaugh, what's going on today?
Not too much. Howdy, Pepper. It's a pleasure to be here.
You like getting out of the barn and get to downtown?
No. There's a lot of traffic.
There is a lot of traffic. So, you've got you raise Longhorns here in Texas. So tell us a little bit about your background, kind of what led you into running cattle.
Gotcha. It's actually not all that interesting. I had got out of the Marine Corps, married this lovely lady right over here, my wife April, and we bought a little bit of property, and we were looking for an ag exemption, and we didn't even know it. We were already in love with Longhorns. Our house was decorated with pictures of Longhorns and stuff. she got on Facebook and saw a little bull that she liked. So she says, she just surprised me one day. She's already talking to the guy. Keep in mind, we have no cattle.
Yeah.
No cattle at all. And so she goes, talks to this guy, and she tells me, by the way, we're going down to Comfort, Texas. We're going to go take a look at a bull. What? Just a bull? She's like, yeah. So we got down there, and I was like, well, we can't just have a bull. So I'll take that heifer, that heifer, that heifer, and it's just kind of how we got started.
So that's kind of what you, I guess, being a fan of Longhorns, that kind of led you into Longhorns?
Yep.
It didn't have anything to do with the college, did it?
No,
Okay,
absolutely
good.
nothing. It was more of the nostalgia. So
Okay.
I'm a pretty avid Western movie guys. I like watching all the Western TV shows and stuff like that, and I kind of wanted to stick to a little bit more of the kind of traditional side of things.
Speaking of Western TV shows, what's the last one you watched?
Rio Grande with John Wayne.
Yep.
Yep. Or TV show, The Rifleman.
Okay.
Yep.
And it still runs.
It does.
Still runs every day.
It does. Yep. I mean, some of the old stuff is.
It's still running. So, with your Longhorns and your operation, are you you're just a breeding farm, or do you breed and sell? Do you show?
So we breed seed and stock. So it's we try and play around with the genetics, trying to improve on the Longhorns just a little bit, some of the different qualities, whether it's the hides or the horns. That for a lot of people seems to be what they focus in on, not us. It's we want structurally sound, the conformation of the animal, want it to be absolutely perfect. So we try and dabble in that a little bit to sell as seed stock to other breeders as well. But then we also have animals. If we have a good looking steer, we'll go ahead and stick them in the show ring as well, allow some of the kids to show them. We try to donate those animals so the kids can raise them up for college scholarships, those types. And then our cull animals we'll go ahead and use and throw into a beef program.
Okay. And Fort Worth just had their big Longhorn deal, I guess, not too long ago. So how was that?
Oh, the Eddie Wood sale?
Yes,
Oh, they
the
had
sale.
their Longhorn weekend out there. It was actually really cool. That was actually really, really neat. It's kind of the first sale of the year, so the Eddie Wood Classic. So we actually showed up there and met some of our followers on social media. It was really cool. One of them suggested that we go live on that, and so we introduced 26,000 new people on social media to a Longhorn auction. They got to see one of the Longhorns go for $50,000, which is really cool. And it's from the El Coyote Ranch.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we went over to the, I forget the name of the show. They had a show there where the kids are showing the animals and stuff. So we stopped by the show to cheer on some of the kids that are over there as well. It was a lot of fun.
Okay. And you mentioned social media.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned social media. So what do you think, because you're active on social media, how do you think that, in your opinion, does social media affect the beef industry, kind of?
So I can speak to the Longhorn beef industry. I can speak to that. It's I can't really speak. I'm kind of ignorant on that when it comes to some of the other breeds. With the Longhorn industry, it's been instrumental, absolutely instrumental. A lot of folks still tell me that, like, you eat Longhorn? Yes, and we have been since the early 1500s. It's just people kind of forgot about it. And that's where social media kind of helps with the sale of the Longhorn beef. It is a niche beef market, but when we recognize it as a niche beef market and we promote it for what it is, it's a healthy, lean beef. That's how we kind of get the word out there, is on social media. And that's where, like, on the TikTok app type thing, that's kind of where it originally took off for us on the TikTok app. And we've sold over 400 pounds of just ground Longhorn beef just on TikTok alone. So it's been instrumental.
Yeah. Now, speaking of being on TikTok, being on social media, since you've been on there for a while, is there something that you wish you'd have known about before jumping on social media and talking about beef and Longhorns and
Indeed, yes, sir. Number one is how mean people are. They can get kind of cruel. They like to bow up on you and stuff on social media and stuff. I've kind of learned not to feed the trolls. That was a hard lesson learned. So, and out of it, though, I've also learned just truly how kind some other people are. Just truly how kind and supportive they are. But those are kind of the first big learning lessons that I really needed to learn about.
Yeah, it's a learning curve because you got to think you're in the Western lifestyle, the Western industry. It's kind of a small community. It's a small thing, but when you jump on social media and you got the whole world looking at you,
Indeed.
you've got 10,000 points of view.
Oh yeah.
And nobody sees anything the same way. You're just like, what happened? What did I say? What did I do?
Well, and what's so neat about it is you get to experience folks from other walks of life. I mean, farmers out there in Iowa. There's a vegetable farmer down there in Houston that I've got to meet out there on social media and stuff. And so to get some of these, it's more of the agricultural industry as a whole kind of seems to be kind of where my direction lands within social media. And so it is actually really, really kind of neat to get some of those different perspectives and things, but where you could say something like, I had one guy comment that he isn't going to listen to anybody that's wearing an old Justin Tractor Supply hat. My response to him, I had no idea, was actually resonated with so many different other people. It doesn't matter what you wear. Yeah. And so it resonated with so many different people, and that's when I first kind of experienced my little tick up in the social media with some of my followers and stuff. But it's really kind of neat.
Yeah, because you never know, and people and they they see something or something, and they point something out. But what you've got is you've got thousands of people sitting home in their basement just looking for something to gripe about, something to pick about. Half of them don't even know what they're talking about.
Indeed.
But they want to roll it out there just to see what happens, just to get the aggravation.
Cattle. Branding cattle. The exact same thing. And so we did a little video, posted it on social media of just branding our cattle, and you think I just murdered them.
And that's the thing. They don't get how the other half lives. And I've learned that through the show over the years. I've dealt with the vegan activists and the vegetarians, and I've had my rounds with them. It wasn't bad. I got to the point where I'll listen to what you have to say, listen to what I have to say. It's okay to agree, disagree. It's okay to have different opinions. We don't all have to believe the same thing, because everybody is brought up different.
Indeed.
Just because I grew up in the rural community, you grew up in the city, we see things differently. Just because you didn't experience it or you don't know about it, and like you say with the people that talk on social media, the trolls, what I've come to understand is a lot of people hate what they don't know or what they don't understand.
Yes.
And so they'll hate something. They don't know anything about it. They don't understand. We deal with this with rodeo all the time when they talk about the flank straps and everything. And I was talking to one of the guys one time, and it just blew his mind when I explained to him that probably 80-90% of the bucking horses are female. They're mares. So what are you tying ropes around?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're just like, well, what do you mean? How does that even work?
They don't understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt the animal. It just a little
pressure.
Tickle, kind of tickles a little bit, and they try to kick it off, just like if you're when your pants, your pants are coming down, they're loose and they're coming down, you kind of shake them. The same thing they're doing. And so it just, like you say, on social media, the same thing. You get the people on there that don't understand. You get people that they don't want to learn anything. They just want to argue with you. And then you get people that are, excited to learn, learn things. And they'll come to you for the Longhorn stuff to learn, a little bit about the Longhorns or kind of what you're doing. And
that's my favorite part.
And that's always the good, you have the teachable moments, and then you get to a point where a lot of these, what I guess they call the haters, you just overlook because they don't have anything else better going on than to, try to stir up trouble.
Indeed. But also at the exact same time, it kind of helps fuel discussions, and which I actually found to be very, very beneficial, though, because some of those trolls and stuff will actually bring up a valid point, something worth at least talking about, and so that's actually kind of been beneficial with us a little bit.
And for your social media, what outlets, if people want to know more about your Longhorns and about what you do and stuff, what social media apps or what locations would they need to go to look you up?
Oh, we're on all of them. So whether it's Facebook or Instagram, you can find us there at Texas 4F Ranch. And on TikTok, I'm literally just labeled as Cattle Guy, type thing. They can find us on TikTok. If they're on TikTok, find us on there as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is there anything out there that you want to tell the people about Longhorns or the cattle business that, say, somebody's watching, they're like, I've thought about, like you did, go buy a few cows and and get our ag exemption started. Is there anything or any advice you would give to somebody that's just getting into it, kind of what to look for or what to expect, when you buy a few cows?
So, speaking firsthand as somebody that did it literally all wrong, I would tell people to have an idea about owning cattle first. That would be beneficial because we did not. Yeah, so there was a bit of a learning curve there. I usually tell a lot of the people that are actually interested in getting Longhorns, it's like, oh, how much experience do you have around cattle? Because cattle are cattle, and they behave like cattle. So I urge them, work as a ranch hand. Go volunteer at a sale barn, which I don't even know if you could do anymore. But go work at a sale barn for a little bit. At least get to know the animal itself. One of the things that we're coming up with is TexasTrailBoss.com, and it's for that exact purpose. It's this new little business that we're doing. What we noticed in the Longhorn world is there's really not a lot there. We talk to ourselves, but we don't talk to the public. And so that's what Texas Trail Boss is for, so that we can talk to the public. So if anybody is interested in getting into Longhorns, I'm going to have industry experts on there that they can talk with. So if you're wanting to talk about breeding, working cattle, preparing your place for the first arrival of your animals, I'm going to have people on there that they could talk with. We get a lot of the folks that are just interested in just ag exemption. They really don't want to really deal with the cattle. So we're going to have ranch hands with Texas Trail Boss that'll actually come out and work their herd for them. But we'll also provide education. We'll talk a little bit about working the animal, branding the animal, going into a lot of different facets for that exact purpose right there.
Okay. And speaking of branding, people don't realize too, when you bring up branding, talk branding. Now, do you fire brand or do you freeze brand?
We use an electric brand. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yep. I would like to get into the freeze branding. It's just sometimes finding that nitrogen out where we're at can be a little difficult.
Yeah, and that's one thing like people don't realize. They don't understand that there are still fire brand, there are still electric brand, but there's other options out there. Some people freeze brand, some do. But another thing what people don't realize is when you go up north in the northern territories, a lot of those places don't recognize freeze brand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not recognized, so you still have a lot of the hot brand, but it's just one of those things. Depending on where you are and your preference, just like cattle tags and everything else, it's all down to each individual person's
And their preference.
and their preference for identification.
Yes, sir.
And another thing I wanted to ask, because I work Longhorns for a guy out of Dallas about once a year, and he's got a huge, like a 3-person chute. So when you work yours, what a lot of people don't realize is that old head gate and that old preferred squeeze chute, that don't work with a Longhorn.
No, that does not work at all.
So you've got, like what he's got is a huge, massive gate. They come in, they go in sideways, you shut them in.
Yep.
And then when you shut them in, if you don't pay attention, that horn will pop you.
Oh, indeed. Yes, sir.
So is that something you've got as far as working your cattle? You've got the big, the big
Yes,
box chute with with all the drop down levers.
With all the drop downs. Yeah, we our alley, of course, looks a little different.
Yeah.
Where their alleys for normal cattle, it's kind of V-shaped and it's very close. Ours is 10 feet
Yeah.
wide. You got to have room for those horns and
Yeah.
stuff to come through. But then they drop into basically the side of the chute.
Yeah.
So, and then you kind of squeeze them in and it allows their horns to stick out.
yeah.
So they're not damaging or breaking the horn. But then we have the little drop downs towards the back to where we could use for branding, give inoculations, vaccines, those types of things. We got the palpating gate in the back. I mean, it's a pretty big chute. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's just like you say, when you get into cattle, there's a lot of factors. The breed, the acreage, the temperament,
Indeed.
all that comes into play.
And the market.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a big one that I was not aware of when we got in.
Yeah. And now, speaking of the market, are you running registered Longhorns?
Yes, sir. We run registered. We've also got a unregistered on our property right now, but we'll probably, as we grow our herd, we'll probably do a little bit more of the unregistered. Some of the animals that just really aren't there for seed stock or truly to improve other people's herds, probably just not even going to register them and use them for different other purposes, whether it's the beef or just a lot of folks are actually been interested in getting some of our unregistered Longhorns to raise their own beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. All right. Well, that'll work. So we got Firebaugh from Texas 4F Ranch. Look him up on social media, Texas. They're on social media there, or look him up on TikTok under the Cattle Guy.
Yep.
Just look for the beard.
Yep. There you go.
Look for the beard. You'll find him. Check it out. He's got a lot of good content there. Man, Firebaugh, we appreciate you coming in and visiting with us.
It was a pleasure, Pepper. Thank you so
Getting
much.
out of the pasture and coming to town, and
Yes, sir.
now you're ready to get back to the pasture.
Yes, sir. First, hit up some Mexican food.
There you go. All right. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in a minute.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed that talk about Texas bovine, Texas Longhorns. Go get some beef, some Longhorn beef. You can get it from them as well on their site. Check it out. Rodeo time is happening. The American is back again, Arlington, Texas. This time it's presented by Durango Boots. It's going to be March the 6th and 7th at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. And the semifinals are going to be at the Cowtown Coliseum March 3rd through the 5th. If you want to go watch it, tickets are on sale right now. Prices range anywhere from $20 to $150. You get those at SeatGeek.com. Now, it's a little bit different this year since it's Corona time. There's not going to be physical tickets for the American. It's all going to be, I guess, on your phone, digital tickets. You're going to have to check a box when you order your tickets. That is a Corona time waiver because they don't want you to go to the event and say, oh, I got Corona while I was there. Well, if you do, that's on you. Plus, how do you know where you got Corona? Nobody knows where they got it from. But I do know how you can get a test for it. The tickets are going to be sold in parties of 2, 4, and 6. Once again, SeatGeek.com is going to be blocked off in pods. Go check it out. Go support the sport and go to the American. Oh, the professional bull riders, the PBR, the Iceman, Kaiki, had a perfect 3-for-3 weekend. Moved him into number 3 in the world. The Florida heat wasn't hot enough to mount the Iceman, 2018 world champ. He went 3-for-3 for a perfect performance to win the Pendleton Whiskey Invitational in Arcadia, Florida over the weekend. At the beginning of, this is interesting. At the beginning of the 2021 season, PBR announced a change to the Unleash the Beast event format, creating daily winners and adding new championship rounds. That change added excitement for more competition winners throughout the season. You could have more successful rides or more bulls over the course of the season, but after a consultation, we'll just leave it at that, with the riders, the PBR flipped the scripts like, you know what, I guess we'll go back to what we did last year for the remainder of the season. So they want to change it. Riders wasn't having it. No riders, no event, so that's what happened. Your top 10 in the event, rounding out number 10, you got Derek Kobaba, followed by Kyle Jones, Diener Barbosa and Cooper Davis both tied. Dalton Cassell, Brendan Eldridge, Junior Sosa, Marco Aguche, Cody Till, and of course your winner, Kaiki Pacheco. Speaking of Kaiki, take a peek at a couple of these rides right here. All right, putting it on him. That's what he's doing. He's won another world. He's wanted to be, another world champ. He's working his way up. He's number 3 right now. So, cow stuff's going on. If you missed it, we just talked beef and stuff with Firebaugh. Cattle news at peppershow.com. You can always go there and find up-to-date cattle market reports. We update the site about twice a month because right now it hadn't really fluctuated that much. So it's not being updated weekly. It's every couple of weeks, but it still gives you a general idea on market pricing. So be sure to check that out. Also, while you're at peppershow.com, go to links, click around, and buy a t-shirt because you need t-shirts, or pick up one of these from Rodeo Clothing Company. Click the link. If you put that, there's a code or something on there. I think you get a discount. I don't know. Let's go odd. Odd news. Odd news time. Up in Canada, apparently the Canadians are are not wanting anyone to come up there. I'm talking Canadians, I'm talking squirrels, I'm talking, they want nobody coming to Canada from America. I'm just guessing, I don't know. But in Toronto, this woman found a knife-wielding squirrel in her backyard. The Toronto woman captured video when she looked into her backyard and was confronted by a bizarre sight. She saw a squirrel holding a knife. Andrea, who lives in Rosedale area, said the squirrels are common inside the backyard, but on Wednesday she spotted a squirrel that had picked up a paring knife that she left near her tent outside. So she left the knife outside and the squirrel got it. So if she gets stabbed, let me find out here. If she gets stabbed, it's her fault. If you get stabbed by a squirrel, that's the 911 call I want to hear. You got stabbed by a squirrel who you gave a knife to. So apparently the knife-wielding squirrels are a thing now. She tweeted along with the footage. The rodent played with the knife for a while. He left it and came back and got it. The squirrel didn't appear to injure itself with the object, but may or may not have robbed another squirrel for some nuts. GoPro. How good is your GoPro camera? I've got a GoPro. I use it from time to time when I'm out doing cow stuff. A volunteer assisting with underwater cleanup in Hawaii discovered a GoPro camera. The memory card was still in it after 6 years on the bottom of the ocean. You're like, how they know it's 6 years? Because of the date on the videos. Yep, it still worked. Rose Zhang, a volunteer with the nonprofit Ocean Defenders Alliance, said she was participating in a cleanup operation near the Spitting Caves on the south side when she came across a GoPro camera that was still sealed in its waterproof case. I always wondered, I got a case on mine, I always wondered how good it was. Apparently it's pretty good. The video, so they took a memory stick out, uploaded the videos to Facebook to show the video showed the camera's owner, I don't know how you say his name, Nano Kamo, I know I said that wrong, and some friends jumping into the water from the Spitting Caves rocks in 2014 when he was just 18, because that's what 18-year-olds do, jump off cliffs. Started getting a bunch of messages on Facebook about this video from 7 years ago, and I was like, what the heck's going on? So I clicked on it, and I was like, no way, dude. Somebody found my GoPro. That's what he told the news. He said the camera was a gift from his mother just a few days before he lost it. Yeah, 18-year-old kid. That's why you can't give kids nice stuff. They lose it. He visited the worker on the 19th of January to return the camera in person. He already bought another one since he lost his first one. I'd like to know if he still has the second one he bought. That's what I want to know about. Let's do a library book. Library books. Do you still go to the library? Do you even know what a library is? A New York library said a biography of Theodore Roosevelt was returned recently, nearly 72 years past due. John Moss said he isn't sure how the book Great Heart, the life story of Theodore Roosevelt, came to be in his possession, but he found it in a big plastic crate of books he had in storage. The book might have been in his parents' house when he cleaned it out in 2013, or it might have been in a dozen of books he accumulated from a yard. He doesn't even know where he got this book. He's just making up excuses because he doesn't want to pay the fine. That's what I'm getting at. Moss returned the book to the library where officials had determined the book was checked out April the 5th of 1949. I just wonder how big that book is. They just not finished reading it yet? The first edition was from 1919. Had the original library book plate, as well as the circulation policy on the back cover. The late fee of the book would be about $262 at the 1949 rate of 1 penny a day. So back in 49 is a penny a day for a book. That's not bad, I guess. I want to know what the book's worth. It doesn't tell me. I'd like to know the value of the book, if it's worth anything. Do you want to get paid to sleep? Do you get paid to sleep already? Ask Tex. He knows about that. Websites offering $3,000 for a sleeping beauty to test out a mattress. Mattress reviewing platform said they're seeking a real-life sleeping beauty to get paid $3,000 to test out a mattress. Sleepjunkie.com. I guess I'll give it to this side. The chosen candidate will be paid to sleep on the job by trying out 3 top-rated mattresses in a 2-month period and writing a detailed review for each experience. The Sleeping Beauty will be paid $3,000 for the testing job, as well as you get to keep the mattress. Well, I guess I've been sleeping on it for 2 months. Nobody else wants to sleep on it, I guess. To be the right fit for the role, you need to be a self-starter, available to work immediately, independently, have clear writing skills, good evaluation skills, and exceptionally good at sleeping. What? Applications are accepted on the website. That's dumb, but go do it. That's marketing. They put this story out there for $3,000 and it saves them $100,000 in marketing because we're all talking about it. What else do I have? Oh, there's Netflix. Vikings. Did you watch Vikings on TV? Well, Vikings Valhalla announces its cast members. The new original series to debut on Netflix later this year as a continuation of the Viking saga. The new series is from creator Michael Hurst, begins 100 years after the original series concludes, and the adventures of the most famous Vikings, including Leif Erikson, Harald Hardrada, and Norman King William the Conqueror, will explore their fight for survival in evolving Europe. Let's see if there's any notable people on here. Sam Corlett, an actor known for his work in The Adventures of Sabrina, will play Leif Erikson, the Green Lantern, blah, blah, blah. Frida Frida from the TV series The Witcher. Who else do we got? Leo Sutter from the miniseries The Liberator plays Harold. Brady Freegard from Keeping the Faith will play King Canute of Denmark. Who else we got? I don't know if you know who those people are that you're looking at, then you know better than me because I have no idea who they are. I did watch the other Vikings though. Somebody from Christmas Star, Queen, I don't know. Anyway, just watch it. It's going to be on Netflix. It'll be there. There's a movie coming out, it may be out already, that we're supposed to tell you about called No Man's Land. Check out this trailer, see if it's something you want to see. Maybe not. Is it a hit or miss? Let us know.
My dad says we don't live in America. We live in Texas.
I got narcos and smugglers on my property every day. Drugs and guns in our backyard.
Saving the ranch is not your job.
This is our home.
Get the hell off our land!
I don't want to lose it.
We're just passing by. We want no trouble. Are you on? Get away! Get away! Fernando!
No le des la espalda a Dios.
¿Quién le dio la espalda a quién?
This ain't fair. They were on our land.
Shot a boy in the back. Hey! Hey!
How dare you chase our son off Mexico like he's some criminal?
Things can get a lot worse. Tell him to come home.
No father should bury his son.
Mi padre. No soy nada.
Jackson.
Sometimes you have to close your eyes and start over to see things clearly.
Uno. Dos. Tres.
I don't know if I can fix what I did down here.
Cuatro. Cinco.
But I gotta try.
6, 7, 8, 9.